Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of the Voltron Sword Attack and Lion Attack figures. These are also from the basic wave of figures, sort of your just standard size, you know, action figure for those that like just smaller action figures and don't want to have to buy either the large put together Voltron, which is coming out soon, or, you know, buy all the individual $20 to $30 lions to create Voltron as a singular robot. So you have two different choices here, both of them featuring a unique feature. The word feature will be in this a lot, maybe, I don't know. Probably just jinxed it, but he's going down for some reason. But okay, so this is the first one I'm going to go over, which is Sword and Shield one. So his main feature is sort of that classic action figure thing of, you know, you squeeze his legs together and he slashes. You know, there's been figures like this for a long time, since like the dawn of time. You know, they're usually something like this, or maybe there'll be a lever on the back. But yeah, and you can twist it around so it can look like he's like spanking or something, I don't know, but you can twist that around. But that's his main draw, I guess, we make you want him, other than the fact that he does have a sword and shield, and this guy does not. He obviously does not have the wing thrusters. The camera is like trying to focus on him. The wing thrusters on the back that you just saw on him, so you don't have that. You do get the shield here, which looks pretty decent actually. The paint is pretty much, you know, what it needs to be at its base, and it's got like the nice clear plastic there. It is removable, so it's not like, you know, a permanent thing. He has very basic articulation. Obviously the legs don't really have it. You can move this one back and forth, but not this one, mainly because, you know, its main bit is using the legs for the action feature, so that's kind of a thing. You can move his arm around, you can bend it here at the elbow, you can twist it around, which is kind of nice, I think, especially for these type of things where, you know, you can twist the lion head around. And I already showed you can twist this one around as well. His head does move, which is nice. It's a little bit stiff at first when you're trying to move it, and you probably will have a really, really hard time / impossible time getting it to spin all the way around. But yeah, it's nice that it moves a little bit so you can get it in a sort of more, you know, nice pose. Detail-wise, he's very basic. The main issue I think I have with the details on him is the fact that his face is so basic and cheap looking, but all the other details I think hit what they need to. They pretty much have the right coloring and everything, although these are like gray / silver when they're supposed to be white here on their mouths and stuff. But they're not, it's not bad is what I'm trying to get at, is that sometimes, you know, I see figures of this type and they're lesser done, like they would have little details like the eyes not painted. So it actually has a pretty good amount of paint on it. It does look a little bit cheap. I'm not sure if that's just me, but there's this sort of weird thick quality to it where it looks like it's just a thick cheap paint or something. It's kind of strange, but it's overall just a very okay looking figure. The amount of paint apps that bother me are very minor. It's just the quality of the paint is weird. Like, I almost don't know if cheap is the right word, because I've definitely seen actual cheap looking toys, but it's just weird, maybe. I don't know. Actually, I'm going to move him over here because the camera just wants to focus on one person. Okay, so this is the Lion Attack version. So obviously he does not have a sword and shield. You can move at the waist here for him. I can't remember if you can do it on him, I'm sorry. No, you can, okay. I was just making sure. I just wanted to be sure, guys, so I don't get a bunch of rage comments. But so obviously, as you could see by the pose I had him in, he was not fixed like that. You can move him at the waist. You can move his arms here. You cannot bend this arm because that's where this little feature is going to come in. You can bend this arm, though, and you can swivel it. You can't swivel this arm because, again, this is a feature. And you can swivel his head. His head was much looser than the Sword Attack version. You can move his legs ever so slightly back and forth. They bend at the knee pretty decently. Same thing for this one. And then, of course, you have these little wing things on the back, which do pop out. So if you don't want that on there, that's kind of nice. And you can kind of move them, I guess, if you want to do. Look at this amazing pose I'm doing him. I'm doing him in slightly wing spreaded pose. So yeah, that's a thing. But I guess it's kind of nice if, like, you didn't want the wings on him, but you didn't want this, so you can take them off. I don't know. But his main feature, being Lion Attack, is that he fires this little lion head like a missile. You could probably already tell. It's one of those ones that doesn't have, like, a distinct button for it. You just press the back of it and it fires out. So that's a thing. It's kind of weird because there's things I like about both of them a little bit better than the other. Like, because I can move this guy's waist for just certain poses, I think this guy kind of looks better for that. But I kind of prefer having the sword and shield. The paint for both of them is pretty much the same. That's, you know, very easy for them to do since it's like the same base mold stuff. So like the face doesn't look that different. This one looks a smidge less messy at the top here, but like the majority of the details are the same on it. So there's not a whole lot of difference there. I guess it just depends on what action gimmick you want. If the sword and shield's really important to you, what kind of poses you want. Because it's weird. In terms of if I had to recommend one or the other, I like the sword and shield a bit better personally, but I just, because of this guy's movement, I just kind of like posing him better. But either way, neither of them are anything too special to write home about, to be honest. They're not terrible, so like if you really just want a 5-inch figure of Voltron and you're not interested in the larger ones at the moment, and you pick one up, I don't think you're gonna freak out about how it's being terrible, but they're really not the best, and I'm kind of hoping to see something a little bit better in the future. So I would say just pick one up if you really want it, but it's not a must-have. But anyway, that's about it. Until next time, make sure you have the Rizzy Podcast at writersrangerambles.com. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, Dawson Writer, signing out.